Real quick introduction. Joining us now, he's going to be participating in MLW SuperFight this Saturday on Triller Plus. He's going to be facing one called Manders. Very, very excited to welcome onto the program right now the one and only Davey Boy Smith Jr. Hello. Can we hear you?
Can you guys hear me? Good morning. Buongiorno.
Good morning.
Yeah, okay. I'm good to go. My apologies on that, guys. These apps and everything, but my phone always wants to use the Safari app or the Safari browser as a default, and then I don't know. I did download the app, and it's working now. So here we go.
Oh, there you go. I'm glad the app worked. That was something we mentioned when we were getting set up. That's great.
No
Harry, first off, before we jump really into things, how are you feeling after all the health last year, the health issues? How are you feeling physically?
You know what? I feel great. I had, as you know, diverticulosis and appendicitis, and that required surgery for both. But the surgery for my diverticulosis happened while on the emergency table being operated on, when they noticed that I had this other issue going on that they were going to take care of, but they needed to remove the appendix first and foremost, because it was on the verge of bursting. Like, it could have been any minute. And when you have situations like that, it can be very serious, because there could be a 50-50 chance of you, dying with the infection, bleeding out and basically poisoning your blood. And there's nothing you can do at that point. So, and believe me, that hurt like, oh my gosh, my God, like I can't even begin to describe the pain that was associated with that. And, but you know what? It took a long time to recover, and there was nothing to speed up the recovery, but I'm back at it. I had a very successful brief tour of All Japan Pro Wrestling earlier this year, going into the new year. And most importantly, now we got Major League Wrestling coming up this Saturday, tomorrow, at the old ECW arena, the 2300 in Philadelphia. I'm taking on one called Manders, and this is my comeback match to Major League Wrestling. And I'm looking to take off at where I left off, and that was being the 2023 Opera Cup winner 2 times. And Mr. St. Laurent and myself, we've got our eyes on the gold. So I'm back, and I'm very excited to be back with Major League Wrestling. And I'm most importantly thankful for my health to be able to compete again.
I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better. I'm very excited that you'll be returning to MLW this weekend. You were supposed to face Alex Kane back at Slaughterhouse last year, but of course your health situation took you out from that. But I want to talk about the no ropes catch match that you two had on MLW Underground in 2023. Talk to me about putting together a match like that, because it's out of the realm of the regular possibilities in wrestling.
Absolutely, and that was the match I was victorious in, of course. So Alex Kane, take nothing away from him, he's a great competitor. But, these are, that's kind of my style, So when you have the ropes taken away from the ring, there are no rope escapes, right? So there's another plot element, into one of these matches, in that there's no ropes and there's no turnbuckles. So it's definitely going to take away any high-flying offense or aerial, because you're not able to use the ropes. You're not able to use the ropes for an escape, and not only that, you're not able to use the ropes for safety. And that would be, if I come in for a big takedown, or if I want to run and power slam somebody out of the ring, there's no ropes there. And we've seen that where guys get nailed and they tumble and they spill out to the floor and hit. So there's no protection there as well. So, it's an area that you have to be very aware and very careful with. And the are right there too. So you definitely need to know your surroundings and your atmosphere and where the dangers are in those types of matches, and that's where I really thrive at. So we'll see if 2024 is going to bring that about again this year.
Oh, you're with the WTF, the World Titan Federation, and MSL. They've had trouble collecting the gold from Alex Kane. A lot of people have stepped up to Alex Kane and from the WTF and have not been able to win gold. And even tag team not been able to win gold. From Josh Bishop and Tom Lawler failed to win the tag team titles. Can you promise that at some point the WTF is going to get some gold around their waist?
Well, let me tell you this. I can promise you that the only thing that's separating WTF and Major League Wrestling gold, the only thing that's separating those two things from each other is just time. And it's only a matter of time until, well, like I said, I'm stepping back into the ring tomorrow evening, and I'm looking at using one called Manders as a stepping stone to the gold. But all that being said, he's a great competitor. I'm not taking him lightly at all. But, under Mr. St. Laurent's new managerial skills, I believe that sky's the limit, and we're on a rocket ship up there. So, and as far as Alex Kane is concerned, he's just a thief. He's stealing gold. He's using the gold he has is pyrite, and that's the thieves' gold. If you look up gold, and he's not actually wearing gold, and it's gold that he's stolen. And that's his type of his type of personality, and he'll do whatever it takes to win, and that means by cheating. Mr. St. Laurent and myself, we do everything the legal way and the proper way. So, but we got our eyes on the goal, believe me.
What do you make of the WTF and kind of the throwback spoof tropes that they've been doing? As someone who has grown up in the business and who was probably privy and saw a lot of these things firsthand.
Oh yeah, it's great. Like I said, when I returned back in 2024 here, sky's the limit, and you got Filthy Tom Weller, myself, Mr. St. Laurent. We're looking at recruiting some other members possibly for our group, but you have to pass the tests, and you got to, you got to be at that standard that we're at. So, but it's a great group to be a part of, and we're going to take MLW by rough shot this year.
Is there anyone in mind that you would like to add to WTF?
Well, we're going to keep that as a little secret, but we definitely got our eyes on a few talent.
Well, we're here for the scoops. You can give us all the information you want to give us here.
We definitely have our eyes on some other talent, believe me.
I want to know what the test is. Do you have like an old WWF trivia game that they need the 90s knowledge so they can do the hotline bits and the AOL bits and all this stuff?
No, it would come a lot more down to them being able to survive the test of some of the workout conditioning classes with myself and with Mr. Tom Lawler. They have to be able to perform the Carl Gotch deck of cards routine, and also not only do that, but perform a 3-minute back bridge as well. And they also they have to have quite a criteria of their background and in history of what they've accomplished so far. But if they're able to pass our physical examination, and certainly we know that they have the brains to do it because they've been appointed by ourselves, and they know that we're the best too. So that's not certainly an issue, but it's more the physical aspect. And once that they can pass that through, maybe, just maybe, Mr. St. Laurent will give them the A-OK.
Arguably someone who would make a good addition to WTF if they were ever available is a former tag partner of yours, Lance Hoyt, currently known as Lance Archer. Let's talk about Lance Archer for a second. And I want to ask about Global Force Wrestling.
Hey, I said I wasn't going to talk about any guys that we're looking at.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Hey, we may or may not have been looking at him. So let's put it. But well, yeah. Anyway, continue. Yeah.
Let's just we'll go backwards because you two have history. Talk to me about your experience with Global Force Wrestling, because I covered TNA. There's a lot of intermingling with Global Force in that history. Talk to me about working with Lance in that Global Force environment when you guys did the Vegas run. This was years ago now, almost 10 years.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Time certainly does fly. You know what? It was a great experience. Unfortunately, not more really. I guess was able to be developed with the company, but the TVs that we did, I was always curious just to see how the production and everything turned out. And it was a 6-sided ring that Global Force was using, which I've never seen myself in a 6-sided ring, or or Lance Archer, for like us together. We're two big guys. So, I hadn't seen it. I was always curious. And I believe we were on the last shows before, the company went in a different direction. And we had stayed with New Japan at the time. So, you know what? It was a great experience, but I hadn't seen any of the footage back or anything to be able to be more exact. And it was quite a few years ago. Like, it's just crazy how time flies. You know what I mean?
Well, you mentioned not having worked a 6-sided ring before. When TNA came back, a lot of the talent said we don't want to bump in a 6-sided ring. Was that your experience? How was the 6-sided ring experience for you?
From what honestly, from what I recall, it was okay to just move around and land on and fall on and take bumps in. It was just confusing because of where the turnbuckles were at. So when you're throwing a guy off the ropes, you're not trying to throw him off straight from those ropes. You got to like angle 45 degrees, if that makes sense, to the I guess adjacent or other side that's going to be looking directly at you, but it's going to be on an angle. So that was definitely confusing. And then it was like, you got 4 sides of the ring to cut the ring off, right? But now you got 6 sides to to cut the ring off from your opponent from making the tag. So in those instances, it was harder to cut the ring off and keep the whoever the competitor is on your side of the ring when there's an additional 2 sides to each one. So 4 being 6. And a little confusing, but I don't remember anything painfully bad about the ring. It didn't break with us in there, so that's a good thing. Got a lot of weight, a lot of big guys in there.
I want to ask about Bloodsport because for people who don't know, I mean, Davey Boy's Bloodsport legend. Karrion Kross, Tom Lawler, Josh Alexander, defeated all of them. Got the 1 loss to Moxley, but otherwise, pretty clean record at Bloodsport, 6-1. Bloodsport, I assume, coming up at WrestleMania weekend. It's been for WrestleMania weekend. Have you talked to Josh about being on this Bloodsport? And if so, is there anybody in mind that you'd like to face?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, I have not spoken with Josh about this yet, but I am going to be under the assumption that I will be participating in the Bloodsport coming up this year. I also had a big victory over JR Kratos last year as well. And that was a match I watched back, and I was very impressed with the performance, and certainly very impressed by JR Kratos. He's in the top 5 or 10 talent, I would say, in the world, and a really tough guy as well. So, unfortunately, due to my stomach issues, I haven't been training quite as regularly as I once was in the martial arts aspect, but I'm getting back into that now. And like I said, it took me a while just to get back to a neutral state of my body with everything, with my appendicitis and diverticulosis. And that's not, once you get to that state, then you want to get into a great shape, or we're back rolling, we're back, doing a lot of conditioning. We're back, sparring. We're back doing some kickboxing. We're flipping tires. We're, doing this and that. So it took quite a while to get to back to just a neutral state. But that being said, I'm not going to say I'm taking anything away from myself. I'm back and better than ever. So I do presume or believe I will be, or I have faith. I won't say I believe, because that entails be lying. So I have faith that I will be at the 2024 Bloodsport event coming up WrestleMania weekend. I do not know of an opponent due to not knowing the details yet, but there's a lot of great talent out there. There's one guy that I've trained with and sparred with and wrestled with for years, and been a dear friend of mine named Eric Hammer, that's been on a lot of the Bloodsport events in the past. And him and I, we've just shake hands and may the best man win. But it would be a great competition and great match to go up against a caliber athlete like himself that just people just don't know quite enough about him. But he's a top-notch, very highly skilled grappler, strong, big, about 6'5", in great shape, and a super good, awesome dude as well. So, he would be somebody that I might look forward to stepping in the ring with for Bloodsport.
Someone who is not underrated and that you've had the opportunity to face is Nick Aldis. And I don't know if you know this, you had his last singles match before he went to WWE. This was in Chillicothe, Ohio. Talk to me about working with Nick Aldis, who is, I did that to Pop Jeremy because he's an Ohioan. So I wanted to show that I knew the name Chillicothe. Anyway, talk to me about working with Nick Aldis because he is a talent that a lot of people have put over. And did you know that you were going to have his last singles match at the time?
That's funny that you mentioned that because that was my last singles match as well, like actual singles match up until this coming tomorrow with one called Manders, because it was shortly after that I was supposed to come in for Major League Wrestling and challenge Alex Kane, and this happened with my stomach. So, and I honestly at the time I was wondering to myself when I was sitting in emergency if that was going to be my last match ever, because I was told of the severity of my stomach issue and having diverticulosis and appendicitis that there's a chance of this bursting and you dying. So that being said, Nick is a fantastic athlete, a great wrestler, real throwback to what I think that the old school and traditional heavyweight in professional wrestling is all about. He's certainly a man that carries himself with class and honor. And unfortunately, I was on the short end of the stick the last time we met in the squared circle. But hey, you know what? Maybe again someday we'll have round 3 because round 1 was I lost the Stu Hart Heavyweight Championship actually to Nick in for Dungeon Wrestling in October 2022 at the Stampede Pavilion. And we were actually setting up for myself and Nick for a rematch for the Stu Hart Heavyweight Championship. And everything happened with my stomach. And not only that, he was being rehired by WWE, but it was going to be his last match again with me, wrestling for Dungeon Wrestling. And then this happened with my stomach. So unfortunately, that just got canceled altogether, which I was bummed about, but what can you do? These things happen, and it was kind of like something we were really building up to, for an entire year. Like the Calgary fans were seeing me, come back, and we're rebuilding the territory here, and a year-long kind of storyline with myself and Nick, and I'm going to, in theory, or hope that I dethrone him at the Stu Hart Heavyweight Championship, and this happens with my stomach. And on the other good luck side of things, Nick gets he gets hired by WWE, so it didn't happen. But that was a match that I was really bummed that didn't, due to my stomach. And of course the title match with Alex Kane. And in life we stub our toe, but we gotta you just got to be like the sharp knife in the wind. Just let it blow past you sometimes, and just keep moving forward no matter what. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, Nick is a great talent and wish him all the best.
Well, before we let you go finish getting ready for one called Manders at MLW SuperFight this Saturday, there's a little game we like to play on the show. It's called Partner, Promo, or Punch in the Face. I'm going to give you 3 names that you know well, and you're going to pick which one you want to partner with in a tag match, which one you want to promo with in the ring, and which one you want to punch in the face in a singles match. Are you ready for your opponents?
Yes. Never been more ready.
Here we go. Your 3 people: Tyson Kidd, Lance Archer, and Grado. Davey Boy Smith Jr., partner, promo, punch in the face.
Okay, so partner would be Tyson Kidd, or if he's not able to with his neck, it would be promo. With Lance Archer, yeah, I go with partner. Then what was the last one? Was Grado?
Grado. Punch Grado in the face?
No, I give him I give him a gentle slap and then a hug, you know. But no, you know what? Honestly, a promo. I'll go with promo with Kratos. I think that would be pretty entertaining.
I love it. Perfect. Jeremy, you want to lead us out?
Oh, well, Davey Boy, we appreciate you joining us. Let everybody know where they can find you at, and this excuse me, this Saturday, MLW SuperFight.
Absolutely. For the fans watching and listening on, they can find me at Davey Smith Jr., and that's on Instagram and Twitter. And they can also tune in to Major League Wrestling and see myself, and not only that, but Mr. St. Laurent and all the other group of the WTF. Not only that, I am very excited to be back with Major League Wrestling and a part of the big picture here. Like I said, I've been training really hard, and I've been getting into a lot of crystal therapy and neo-paganism. And I believe that this has really augmented my spiritual side, which is helping my performance in the ring and in the gym as well. And Mr. St. Laurent is helping guide me there as well too. So fans tuning in, I hope that they do check out Major League Wrestling tomorrow at the old ECW 2300 arena, and one called Manders. We got a hoss fight on our hands, and I know that he's dangerous and he likes to be hit, and he's unorthodox, but I'm in there. I'm in there for the long run with him, and I'm planning on slapping on one of my submission holds, procuring one of those joint locks or a crossface or the sharpshooter, and may the best man win. And thank you guys for having me on. Really appreciate it, and got big things coming up with 2024 with Major League Wrestling.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Davey
you.
Boy Smith Jr. Check out MLW SuperFight February 3rd. That's this Saturday on Triller Plus. Or if you can go over to the 2300 Arena in Philly, go check it out. Thank you very much for your time, Davey Boy. Have yourself a good day.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.